Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And honestly, before we get into celebrity chaos, can we talk about the fact that our own lives are starting to sound like rejected Bravo storylines?
Oh, it is getting completely out of hand. Like, I am currently operating on a frequency of stress where just one minor inconvenience away from throwing a wine glass at a dinner party I wasn't even invited to.
Literally same.
Right. The level of baseline chaos we are operating on right now is it's completely unsustainable, but also weirdly giving me life. It's like we're just fully leaning into the absurdity of it all.
Oh, we are totally leaning it. It's like we are starring in a reality show where the producers actively hate us.
They despise us.
Right. They're just throwing obstacles in our way for ratings. But okay, first things first, we need our survival juice. What are we drinking tonight, Snark Squad?
Oh, I need to know.
Because I need you to know I am currently nursing a spicy margarita that took me literally 25 minutes to construct.
25 minutes?
Yes. I hand-muddled jalapenos until my wrists physically hurt.
Yeah.
I did a perfectly symmetrical Tajin rim using this, crazy line wedge technique I learned on TikTok.
Of course you did.
I used the expensive top-shelf agave that costs way too much money. I am treating this cocktail like it is my firstborn child. Yeah. I am emotionally invested in this beverage. What about you? How are you coping?
Well, I absolutely love that highly curated mixology journey for you, but I am currently operating on a level of sheer exhaustion that fundamentally does not allow for muddling of any kind.
No muddling today.
None. I am drinking straight Casamigos Reposado out of a chipped ceramic mug that says, quote, "World's okayest employer."
Stop. Not the corporate mug.
Yes. No ice, no lime, no garnish, just raw, room temperature tequila and a desperate prayer for serotonin.
Honestly, I respect it.
I feel like it really honors the feral energy of surviving another day of sheer madness. So cheers to us, babes. We made it to the microphone.
Cheers to surviving. And honestly, the raw tequila in a corporate mug is such a valid aesthetic today. Because my day at the clinic, oh my God.
Oh no, what happened?
You guys, I need to completely decompress. I love my patients, I really do. I have so much profound empathy for the human condition.
I hear a but coming.
But today tested my Hippocratic oath. I had a patient come in who was absolutely, fundamentally convinced that the massive localized swelling in their arm was because they accidentally swallowed a bee 3 weeks ago.
Wait, pause. I'm sorry, swallowed a bee.
Yes.
Into their digestive tract. And they thought it ended up in their arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to sit there on my little rolling stool using my most professional, empathetic, heavily modulated healthcare provider voice.
Oh, I can picture the face you're making.
I was basically doing a middle school biology diorama with my hands, carefully explaining the geographical and biological differences between the gastrointestinal tract and the human circulatory system.
You're like, sir, that is not how veins work.
Exactly. And this patient looked me dead in the eye with zero hesitation and said, well, the bee must have burrowed.
Burrowed.
Burrowed. Like it's a tiny winged groundhog navigating my patient's muscular tissue.
Stop it right now. Did you ask them if the bee was paying rent?
I should have.
Because, in this economy, you can't just have an aggressive pollinator burrowing in your bicep for free.
True.
The housing market is way too terrible for a bee to get a free studio apartment in a human arm.
Right. I physically could not formulate a response. My brain short-circuited. I had to politely excuse myself, leave the exam room, go into the supply closet, and just stare blankly at a box of sterile gauze for 5 unbroken minutes to keep from losing my absolute mind.
You had to reboot.
I had to reboot. It's the sheer confidence of the delusion that breaks you. But honestly, that wasn't even the start of my emotional unraveling today because we need to talk about our group chat this morning.
Oh, boy.
I need you to logically explain to me why my phone was vibrating off the nightstand at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay, let's unpack this because the group chat madness was entirely unwarranted and honestly borderline abusive.
It was an attack.
Someone, and I won't name names to protect the guilty, but we all know exactly who we were talking about.
We absolutely do.
This person sent a deeply unhinged TikTok into the chat at exactly 5:15 a.m.
5:15.
The video was this pseudoscience rant about how oat milk is allegedly causing early onset aging and cellular degradation.
Which is terrifying, by the way.
Right, but this person then proceeded to send 6 consecutive frantic follow-up texts having a full capitalized existential crisis about their daily iced latte habit.
All caps.
At 5:30 in the morning, I woke up heart-pounding, thinking there was a national security emergency, only to find out we are grieving the concept of oats.
And I, being the porous emotional sponge that I am, immediately woke up, read the text thread in the dark, completely panicked, and walked right into my kitchen.
Oh no, what did you do?
I poured my entirely full, newly purchased carton of oat milk straight down the sink.
You did not.
I did, and then I sat on my cold kitchen floor crying because I didn't have anything to put in my morning coffee. I was grieving.
You were grieving the milk you just murdered.
Yes, which of course directly led to my disastrous grocery store adventure.
Oh, right. You went to the grocery store in a vulnerable, under-caffeinated state. That is like rule number 1 of adulting. Never enter a supermarket when you are emotionally compromised.
I broke the rule. I went to get almond milk. That was the singular mission. Get in, secure the almond milk, get out.
It's never that simple, though.
Never. Somehow, through a series of minor compounding tragedies, it turned into an hour-and-a-half emotional crisis in the pasta aisle.
The pasta aisle is a very dangerous place for the fragile psyche.
It really is.
There are too many choices. It forces you to confront your own desires.
Exactly. They were completely, entirely out of the specific ridge shape of rigatoni I like for my spicy vodka sauce. Like, the shelf was bare.
Devastating.
And instead of just grabbing another shape, I just stood there. I physically froze, staring at the boxes of penne, thinking, this is it. This is the universe sending me a direct message that I have absolutely no control over my life, my destiny, or my dinner.
I mean, we both know it's never actually about the rigatoni.
Obviously not.
It's about the illusion of control in a chaotic, meaningless void. When everything else is falling apart, you just want your pasta to have the correct surface area.
Yes. Thank you.
But also, from a purely culinary standpoint, penne is vastly inferior.
It is.
It has no structural integrity, so your feelings of deep despair were completely justified.
Thank you so much for validating that. Penne is a slippery, useless tube. It cannot hold a heavy ragu or a thick vodka sauce. It just slides right off.
It's basically a slip and slide for sauce.
Exactly. But then, if you can believe it, I finally get home. I am exhausted. I am milkless. I am rigatoni-less. My spirit is completely broken.
And then what?
I go to check the mail, hoping for a tiny dopamine hit from a Sephora package. And what do I find?
A bill.
A passive-aggressive printed notice from the leasing office stating that my package was delivered to the wrong building. Building 4.
Oh, absolutely not. Building 4 is practically in another zip code.
Right. The sheer audacity of random adult responsibilities. I am expected to put on hard pants, walk a quarter mile across the complex in the 90-degree heat, and negotiate with a total stranger in Building 4 for my new peptide moisturizer.
You simply cannot.
I can't. I simply do not have the bandwidth.
The leasing office is the ultimate final boss villain in every apartment dweller's story.
They really are.
They're a localized monopoly on your happiness and your packages. They thrive on the power trip. But, hey, speaking of failing at basic tasks, I completely forgot to run every single errand I had aggressively color-coded in my planner for today.
Oh, the color coding. The lies we tell ourselves.
Total lies. I went to the post office exactly 0 times. I dropped off 0 dry cleaning.
So what did you do instead?
Instead, I ordered an ungodly, socially unacceptable amount of sushi.
Ooh, how much are we talking?
I'm talking a wooden boat platter meant for, like, a small corporate gathering or a bridal shower.
Oh my God, just for you.
Just for me. And I ate the entire thing by myself while spiraling down a 3-hour TikTok rabbit hole about a highly niche, intensely bitter feud between 2 rival cookie bakers in Utah.
Stop. Oh my God, the Utah cookie wars.
You saw it too.
I fell into that exact same algorithm trap last night instead of getting my 8 hours of sleep.
It's so addictive.
The sheer sugary passive aggression of their frosting techniques, like they're subtweeting each other with royal icing.
It is high art.
But honestly, the fact that we both ended up there is hilarious because we spent 4 hours on FaceTime last night.
We really did.
And I swear to you, for at least an hour and a half of that call, we were just silently scrolling on our respective phones, completely mute, occasionally just sighing heavily into the microphone.
Hey, it's called parallel play.
Is it?
Yes. It's a very valid, psychologically recognized form of adult friendship and intimacy. We don't always need to be speaking to be connecting.
That makes me feel slightly better.
But it really does highlight our massive mutual delusions. Think about it. On Sunday, we honestly thought this is the week we were going to become organized, healthy, wealthy, emotionally stable adults who meal prep grain bowls and go to 6 a.m. Pilates classes with matching sets.
We are so convinced.
And here we are 48 hours later. You're crying over tubular pasta, and I'm drinking, well, tequila from a mug, while analyzing the legal implications of a Utah cookie recipe theft.
We are so deeply delusional. Like, we are romanticizing a version of ourselves that simply does not exist.
Never has, never will.
But at least we are together in our delusion.
Exactly. We are inextricably bonded by our shared inability to function as proper neurotypical adults in modern society. We are trauma bonded by our own incompetence.
True besties. But babes, enough about our beautifully chaotic lives. Let's get into the celebrity gossip, viral drama, and internet madness that brought us all here tonight.
Oh, buckle up, Snark Squad, because today we are doing a deep dive into court documents, Instagram sleuthing, and paparazzi trails to uncover exactly how reality stars manipulate the legal system, weaponize the media, and exploit their own trauma to survive off-camera.
It is wild out there today.
The Bravo cinematic universe is currently imploding, and the epicenter is, as always, the toxic wasteland of the Valley and Vanderpump Rules.
Okay, the mission tonight is to literally dissect the madness. And we have to start with the absolute radioactive mess that is Tom Sandoval and his now ex-girlfriend, Victoria Lee Robinson.
Oh, this one is just, it's a lot.
You guys, this restraining order drama is, I don't even have an accurate adjective for it. It's beyond messy. It's toxic sludge leaking into the groundwater.
This is where we really need to look at the actual legal mechanics of reality TV breakups, because Tom just filed a formal declaration for a temporary restraining order against Victoria and her dad, Will.
Her dad.
Yes. And just to set the stage for everyone listening, they were all living together in Tom's house in LA. Tom, his 20-something new girlfriend, and her father. Under one roof, which is, frankly, a sitcom premise written in the depths of hell.
A literal nightmare scenario. The plumbing alone must have been a crisis.
Truly.
So, here are the facts laid out in the court documents. Tom is officially claiming that back in October 2025, during a Florida tour stop for his band, Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras, which, sidebar, remains the most fundamentally embarrassing band name in recorded human history.
I will never get over the all caps most.
Never. But anyway, he claims that on this tour, Victoria went on this absolute, unhinged, drug-fueled attack against him.
Right. If you actually read the declaration, he alleges that she was so incredibly intoxicated or out of it that the venue security team literally had to physically carry her out of the venue and dump her onto the tour bus.
Which is so embarrassing for everyone involved.
And Tom claims that when he went onto the bus to check on her, she became violent. He says she kicked him repeatedly in the groin.
Ugh. And she didn't just physically assault him, allegedly. While kicking him, she was screaming insults at the top of her lungs.
Oh, the insults.
And we know exactly what she said, because the specific insult Tom chose to legally document and submit to a judge is that she was yelling, quote, "You have a tiny fucking penis."
Okay, this is where the legal strategy completely meets public relations.
Make it make sense.
You have to understand why a quote like that ends up in a family court or civil court declaration. To get a restraining order, you have to prove a pattern of abuse, erratic behavior, and fear for your safety.
Right.
But when you are a massive public figure like Tom Sandoval, you also know that the moment you file that document, TMZ is going to pull it. Immediately.
They have people waiting at the courthouse.
Exactly. So by putting that specific humiliating quote in the declaration, it becomes permanent public record for the rest of eternity.
He knew what he was doing.
He is legally establishing her as volatile, but he's also enduring public embarrassment to do it.
Wait, I'm genuinely confused here, though, and I need to push back on this strategy.
Go for it.
If Tom's main goal is to protect himself and get a restraining order against Victoria, why on earth is his PR team or his legal team okay with the exact wording of tiny penis getting leaked to the international press? Doesn't that just invite mockery?
It does.
Isn't he just using the legal system to create this bizarre, victim-centric storyline for himself for the next season? Like, why include that detail?
That is the brilliant, twisted paradox of Sandoval. You are absolutely right that it invites mockery. But his entire brand, his entire cultural currency right now is based on being the beleaguered, misunderstood victim of quote-unquote crazy women.
Ugh, he loves playing the victim.
He will absolutely take a hit to his ego, the small penis comment, if it means he can definitively paint his ex-partner as an unhinged, abusive monster. It's a calculated trade-off.
That is so dark.
He also claims that the venue managers in Florida literally wanted to ban her from the tour entirely because she was allegedly doing drugs and sharing them with fans backstage.
Which is such a massive liability. Like, you cannot do that. And he goes on in the docs to say she caused him intense, debilitating distress and anxiety, specifically citing that she derailed his mental state right before his performance on America's Got Talent in August 2025.
As if that performance needed any help being derailed.
Honestly, true. He claims she called him not a real man and kept him totally frazzled. But as wild as all of that is, the part that really sent me into orbit, like the detail that exposes the entire reality TV ecosystem, was her alleged threat to him when he tried to end things.
Ah, yes. The invocation of the holy grail of reality TV breakups.
Yes, the Ariana treatment.
It's iconic in the worst way.
Tom alleges, under penalty of perjury, that Victoria threatened to completely ruin his life if he ever left her, specifically stating that she wanted to get the, quote, Ariana Madix treatment.
She really said that, allegedly.
Meaning, for those of you listening, she explicitly wanted the massive, unprecedented wave of public sympathy, the million-dollar brand deals with Duracell and Uber Eats, the stint on Broadway, the Love Island hosting gig. She wanted the sheer astronomical career boom that Ariana experienced after Scandival.
If this thread is true, it is the most fascinating psychological reveal of modern reality television.
It changes everything.
Think about the mechanics of this for a second. It implies that every single person dating Tom Sandoval right now is acutely aware of what his function in the culture is.
What is it?
His function is to be the ultimate villain. He is a stepping stone. And if you play your cards perfectly, if you date him, endure him, and then become his public victim in a spectacular, dramatic fashion, you can instantly monetize the breakup.
Wow.
It morphs a romantic relationship into a high-stakes, ruthless career strategy. She looked at him not as a boyfriend, but as a piñata full of brand endorsements, and all she had to do was bust him open.
Okay, let's unpack this with an analogy, because Tom's life is like a toxic waste dump that just keeps spilling over into new, unsuspecting residential neighborhoods.
Great analogy.
Right. At a certain point, the EPA has to step in. Is it statistically possible for everyone in Sandoval's immediate orbit to need a restraining order at the exact same time? At what point do we look at the common denominator and say, the call is coming from inside the house?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because, mind you, Victoria also tried to get a temporary restraining order against Tom.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, which the judge actually denied pending a future hearing. But, addressing your pushback, yes, Tom plays the perpetual victim better than anyone on television.
Better than anyone.
Every single romantic relationship he has ever had ends in this catastrophic nuclear fallout, where he emerges from the rubble claiming to be a wounded bird who just tried his best.
The wounded bird routine. I can't take it.
But if everywhere you go smells intensely like garbage, you eventually have to lift up your own foot and check your own shoes. He creates the chaos.
Exactly. I want to be very clear, though. I am not excusing Victoria's alleged behavior for a single second. If she physically assaulted him, if she kicked him, that is horrific, unacceptable, and she deserves legal consequences. Violence is never okay.
Right. Absolutely.
But we have to look at the broader psychological pattern here. The environment Tom Sandoval inherently creates is one of pure, unadulterated chaos, intense gaslighting, and emotional manipulation. It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And when you put people in a pressure cooker, eventually they explode.
Yep. And since Victoria literally, allegedly invoked the Ariana treatment as a business model, we absolutely have to pivot and talk about what the actual Ariana Madix is going through right now.
We really do.
Because while Victoria is out here fantasizing about getting a Bloomingdale's campaign out of her misery, Ariana is still trapped in the endless, suffocating, exhausting legal hangover of Scandival.
It has been 2 years. 2 whole consecutive years since the news broke, and she is still legally shackled to this mess. The big news today is that Ariana just lost her major appeal to have Rachel Leviss's lawsuit dismissed.
Let's break down the legal mechanics of this because it's crucial for you guys listening to understand how these reality stars are weaponizing the courts.
Walk us through it.
So, Rachel Leviss sued Ariana Madix and Tom Sandoval for a slew of charges. We're talking revenge porn, eavesdropping, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Which is a huge claim.
Huge.
Yeah.
All of this stems from that infamous night when Ariana looked at Tom's phone and found a highly explicit NSFW video of Rachel masturbating on FaceTime with Tom. That video exposed the affair.
The video that started the apocalypse.
Right. Rachel claims in her lawsuit that Ariana didn't just see the video, but that she illegally copied it, sent it to herself, and distributed it to other cast members.
So Ariana's incredibly expensive legal team tried to get the entire case tossed out of court immediately by using what's called an anti-SLAP motion.
Basically, they were arguing free speech.
Right. They were telling the judge, look, Your Honor, Scandival was a massive, viral, global public interest story. It was in the New York Times, for God's sake. Therefore, Ariana's actions surrounding the discovery of the scandal are protected by the First Amendment.
Right, and for those who don't know, a LAPP suit stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation.
Didn't know.
Imagine you are a regular person who writes a bad review of a massive polluting corporation. The corporation sues you for defamation, not because they will win, but because they know you can't afford the $100,000 legal fees to fight it, so you are forced into silence.
That makes sense.
California enacted strong anti-SLAPP laws to protect people from those bullying tactics. Ariana tried to use this shield, but the California Court of Appeal completely and utterly shut her down this week. They agreed with the lower court judge.
So why did it fail? Like, if Scandival was so public, why doesn't she have free speech protection here?
Because the court drew a very sharp, distinct line between public gossip and private bodily autonomy.
Oh, interesting.
The court's logic was essentially, yes, the scandal of the cheating is a matter of immense public interest, but Rachel's highly private, intimate masturbation videos are not.
Okay, yeah.
The public has no inherent right to see or know about the contents of a non-consensual intimate video. Just because the world cares about who Tom is sleeping with doesn't legally give anyone the right to distribute private media.
Which, I have to admit, legally makes complete and total sense to me.
It does.
Like, if we step back from our bias, if we forget the Bravo cameras and the reality TV of it all, revenge porn laws exist for a very, very good reason. They protect victims from having their most vulnerable moments weaponized against them.
Exactly. I know fans hate Rachel, but if we allow the precedent that being a public figure means your stolen intimate videos are, quote, public interest, that sets a terrifying legal standard for every woman in America.
That's a really great point. It would be a disaster. But what is so deeply exhausting to me is the endless blame game happening specifically with the intentional infliction of emotional distress claims.
Oh, the psychological warfare in these court filings is wild.
It's so intense.
Rachel's camp is aggressively arguing that Ariana's alleged actions distributing the video are what directly caused the absolute mayhem in Rachel's life.
They're saying it's Ariana's fault.
They are legally stating that Ariana fomented this massive public skewering, which directly led to Rachel requiring months of highly intensive inpatient mental health treatment at a facility. They are blaming Ariana for making Rachel the most hated woman in America.
And Ariana's legal team is clapping back incredibly hard. They are basically saying, no, honey, let's look at the timeline here.
The timeline is key.
Your mental health crisis, your anxiety, your distress, that started way before any videos were allegedly sent. Your crisis was caused by Bravo, by the producers exploiting you for ratings, and fundamentally by the massive, predictable public backlash for your own terrible actions in betraying your best friend.
It is the ultimate toxic chicken and egg scenario of reality TV trauma.
True.
Did the ruthless public ruin her life? Did the billion-dollar network exploit her mental state? Or did the vindictive castmates drive the harassment campaign? If you look at the mechanics of the Bravo machine, it is almost certainly a toxic, synergistic cocktail of all three.
100%.
But for Ariana, imagine the sheer exhaustion of having this drag on. She has moved on. She is literally starring on Broadway. She bought a new house. She is thriving, and yet she is still legally, financially, and emotionally tethered to the absolute worst, most traumatic thing that ever happened to her.
I genuinely cannot even imagine the toll that takes on a person's nervous system. You just want to close the book, you've done the healing, and the California court system is like, nope, sit down, we are aggressively reading chapter 1 again.
Hope you like depositions.
Right. But speaking of people who refuse to close chapters, staying right inside this deeply incestuous reality TV bubble, let's pivot to the Valley.
Oh, seamless transition.
Because Jax Taylor is currently providing a masterclass, a Harvard-level seminar, in how not to handle a legal separation.
Is anyone on planet Earth surprised by this? Jax Taylor is not a human man. He is a walking, breathing PR crisis wrapped in a chunky knit sweater.
It's so true. So Brittany Cartwright finally officially filed for divorce After 5 years of marriage, an incredibly difficult run on reality TV, and one child, they are done. And she is absolutely not holding back in the press.
Good for her, honestly.
She publicly stated to cameras that she hopes Jax and his new flame, who, by the way, happens to be their shared professional publicist, Lori Krebs.
Still cannot get over that detail.
Insane. Brittany hopes they are, quote, absolutely miserable.
The mechanics of this are just astounding. Let's look at the PR ecosystem of reality TV. Cast members rely on publicists to secure storylines, leak favorable gossip to the press, and manage their image.
Right, they are crucial.
What's fascinating here is the sheer, unmitigated audacity of Jax. He was just spotted and photographed getting extremely cozy with Lori, his publicist, in Puerto Vallarta.
So messy.
So Brittany rightfully fires Lori, calling her behavior sick and accusing Lori of just wanting to be the center of attention.
Which, if you know anything about the entertainment industry, is the literal exact opposite of a publicist's job description.
Right. It's supposed to be behind the camera.
You are paid a retainer to keep your clients out of messy, career-ending scandals, not to jump into a king-size bed with them and become the scandal yourself. You are supposed to be the invisible hand. And Jax allegedly straight up told a mutual friend, on the record, that he slept with Lori.
This is where it becomes a complete conflict of interest and PR suicide. And of course, because Jax fundamentally lacks the gene for impulse control, he can't just be quiet and let his lawyers handle it.
Of course not. He has to tweet.
He actively hopped into an Instagram comment section to aggressively defend himself against fans. A fan called him out for being photographed with Brittany's close friend.
What do you think?
Jax replied, claiming that Brittany and Lori were never friends, stating that they barely talked in a year and a half, and explicitly accusing his soon-to-be ex-wife of lying for sympathy.
Oh, the classic Jax Taylor gaslighting technique. I actually have to laugh.
Yeah.
Imagine a man trying to publicly dictate to a woman who her real friends are in an Instagram comment section. The arrogance.
It's peak Jax.
And then, to make it worse, he tries to pivot the blame to Brittany for holding up the legal divorce proceedings, claiming she's failing to provide necessary financial documents.
Oh, sure. It's her fault.
He is desperately trying to spin this narrative that he's just a reasonable guy trying to move forward peacefully, and his crazy, bitter ex-wife is stalling the paperwork.
We have watched Jax Taylor on television for well over a decade. We know the playbook by heart. Step 1, deflect accountability. Step 2, deny the most obvious facts.
Deny, deny, deny.
Step 3, accuse the woman involved of being crazy, lazy, or vindictive. But the reality TV ecosystem always provides a counter-narrative. Throw in the highly entertaining detail that Brittany's bestie, Zach Wickham, recently shaded them on his podcast.
Oh, Zach brought the heat.
Zach literally warned Jax and Lori about sending threatening text messages behind the scenes. He essentially looked into the camera and said on mic, "We know you're listening. We have the receipts, so watch what you say."
It's giving high school cafeteria drama, but with multi-million-dollar mortgages, child custody arrangements, and brand deals involved.
The stakes are slightly higher.
Jax deeply needs a mommy figure to manage his life, exactly like Brittany said on the show. He just went out and found a new one who also happens to issue professional press releases.
It's efficient, if nothing else. And speaking of cast members from the Valley who are living in completely different alternate realities, we have to talk about Michelle Sanier.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the secondhand embarrassment I have for this woman is keeping me awake at night.
It is physically painful.
Michelle recently went on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen on live national television and was absolutely gushing, practically vibrating about dating the 61-year-old billionaire rap legend, Dr. Dre.
It is the cinematic crossover event that literally no one in the culture asked for, predicted, or understands.
No one. She claimed to Andy that they met completely organically through a mutual friend, emphasizing that it wasn't a PR setup. They just clicked on a spiritual level.
A spiritual level with Dr. Dre.
Okay. She kept dreamily saying he has good energy and that they're trying to keep it super private and intimate. The delusion was so strong that even her ex-husband, Jessi Lally, went on the same show and confidently predicted she'd hold on to Dr. Dre for a long time.
Well, Jessi might want to take his crystal ball into the shop for recalibration.
Seriously.
Because if we look at how the paparazzi machine operates, the timing of this is brutal. While Michelle is busy giving exclusive interviews to Bravo and People magazine about their wonderful, private, blossoming romance, Dr. Dre was just papped walking out of Nobu in Malibu.
And he was most definitely not with Michelle.
Not at all. He was dressed in all black, looking incredibly unbothered, walking out of the most famous celebrity restaurant in the world alongside a mystery brunette.
Plot twist.
And this woman was wearing a tight pink mini dress and carrying a highly coveted Hermes mini Kelly bag.
A mini Kelly. Okay, for you guys listening who aren't deep into the luxury handbag market, you need to understand this is not just a casual platonic friend grabbing some spicy tuna crispy rice on a Tuesday.
It is a status symbol.
A Hermes mini Kelly costs anywhere from $8,000 to $30,000 on the resale market. Bringing a mini Kelly to Nobu, Malibu with a billionaire is a massive neon statement. It screams exclusivity and wealth.
Loud and clear.
So I have to ask you, what is actually going on here? Is Michelle completely medically delusional? Is she manifesting a relationship that was actually just two casual dates?
This raises a really important question about how reality stars perceive their own proximity to A-list stratospheric fame.
Right.
I have a theory. Michelle likely thought, well, I went to Nobu with Dr. Dre once or twice. I'm on television. We are obviously exclusive.
She skipped a few steps.
It's like putting a luxury car logo on a rusty bicycle. She's hoping the proximity to his massive brand instantly upgrades her perceived market value before anyone looks under the hood.
Oh, they shade.
Meanwhile, Dr. Dre is probably thinking, I am a billionaire hip-hop mogul who created an empire. I go to Nobu with a different woman carrying a different mini Kelly every single Tuesday. This is just my life.
It is so profoundly embarrassing. The entire internet is having an absolute field day with her. People on Twitter and TikTok are actively trying to ruin her moment, making memes about her.
They are ruthless.
But I kind of feel like she set herself up for the slaughter by going on live national television and claiming a man who is actively out in public with someone else. You cannot claim a billionaire who hasn't claimed you back.
You really can't. It's the ultimate reality TV curse. The mechanism is flawless. The absolute second you brag about a man's loyalty on the Bravo network, he is legally, cosmically obligated to publicly embarrass you in the tabloids within 30 business days.
It's basically science at this point.
It's written in invisible ink in their contracts.
So true. Well, moving smoothly from Michelle's romantic delusions about Dr. Dre to internet delusions about Bravo casting, let's talk about the housewives. We need to start with Atlanta, because the Peach State is messy right now.
The rumors have been swirling out of control on the blogs about the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 18 cast.
And Portia Williams just got caught with her fingers directly on the screen, honey.
She did.
She was caught red-handed, liking a super messy, highly speculative Instagram post. The post explicitly claimed that her season 17 mortal enemy, Shemaya Morton, was fired by the network and that the absolute icon herself, Nene Leakes, was returning to save season 18.
And these weren't just vague rumors. The blogs were very specific in their claims.
They usually are.
They stated that the entire cast got their renewal contracts to return, except Shemaya. To make matters worse, Nene took to her own Instagram story and posted that she was feeling the best she has in a long time, which the fans immediately took as confirmation of a triumphant return, pouring gasoline on the fire.
The fan base lost their collective minds. Everyone was celebrating. But then, the ultimate Bravo overlord, the man who controls the purse strings, Andy Cohen, hopped on his SiriusXM Radio Andy show and completely, ruthlessly shut the entire narrative down.
He burst the bubble with zero hesitation. He went on air and confirmed that the season 18 cast is exactly, person for person, the same as season 17.
We're getting Portia, Shemaya, Kelly Potter, Phaedra Parks, Angela Oakley, Drew Sidora, K. Michelle, Pinky Cole, and Cynthia Bailey as a friend of the cast. So just to clarify for everyone listening, Shemaya is definitely coming back, holding a peach, and Nene is definitively absolutely not.
Which makes Portia's Instagram activities so incredibly shady, deeply hilarious, and a perfect example of how these women try to manifest casting decisions through the fans.
It's so transparent.
By publicly liking that post, she was essentially trying to crowdsource Shemaya's firing.
Wait, I have to jump in because it's just so incredibly petty. She couldn't even take 5 seconds to log into a Finsta or a burner account.
Apparently not.
She just liked a post declaring her coworker's unemployment from her main verified account with millions of followers. Portia and Shemaya used to be genuine best friends off camera, and now Portia is out here double-tapping on rumors about her losing her income.
It's ruthless.
The sheer awkwardness of that first day of filming for season 18 is going to be palpable. They're going to have to address the like immediately.
Oh, it's going to be the first scene they shoot. And since we are exploring the mechanics of housewives who are no longer on the show, let's look at the original iteration. Let's talk about the OG of the OC, Vicki Gunvalson.
The tank is empty.
Specifically, we need to analyze why her daughter, Brianna Culberson, absolutely and completely refuses to film or be associated with the franchise anymore.
This story actually breaks my heart a little bit. Vicki's son, Michael Woolsmith, was recently on a podcast and just casually, almost throwaway, admitted that he hasn't seen his own sister, Brianna, in 8 years.
8 years is a lifetime.
8 years. If you watch the early seasons of Orange County, you know they used to be so incredibly close. They were the grounding force for Vicki's madness.
Right. So Vicki did an interview recently trying to manage the PR of this family fracture. She explained it away by saying Brianna wants absolutely nothing to do with the show because of how the producers and editors portrayed her husband, Ryan.
For those who don't remember, Ryan is a highly polarizing figure for Bravo fans.
To put it mildly,
he did 6 tours overseas with the Marine Corps and suffers from documented PTSD. Vicki claims the show intentionally edited him and painted him in a bad light to create drama. But Michael, Brianna's brother, hinted very strongly on social media that Ryan's behavior is actually the core, undeniable reason for the sibling estrangement, not the network editing.
If we connect this to the bigger picture of how reality television functions, the camera acts as a massive magnifying glass for underlying family dysfunction.
Exactly. It just amplifies what's already there.
Let's look at the mechanics of Ryan's time on screen. He had some highly controversial, deeply uncomfortable moments. Specifically, cornering and aggressively screaming at Lydia's mother simply for putting her feet on Vicki's couch. It was very intense, volatile behavior.
Hard to watch.
Blaming the bad edit is a classic textbook reality TV defense mechanism. It allows the family to blame a faceless producer instead of addressing the real trauma. But when your own brother hasn't spoken to you or seen your children in almost a decade, you can no longer blame an editor in a bay in Los Angeles. That's not an edit. That is real-life consequences.
Exactly. I push back on the edit excuse constantly. Editors can only splice together the footage of things you actually said and did. They can't deepfake you yelling at an old lady.
No, they cannot.
It's so much deeper than Bravo. It's about isolation and boundaries. But speaking of deep, real-life darkness off-camera, babes, we have to drop the snark for a second. We need to take a collective breath and talk about Anne-Marie Wiley from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes. We are shifting gears because this is heavy, but it is incredibly important to discuss how the media treats survivors.
Anne-Marie recently filed for divorce from her husband, former NFL player Marcellus Wiley. And the allegations in her filing are absolutely horrifying.
They really are.
She is formally accusing him of rape and severe domestic violence. And this isn't just an accusation in a divorce proceeding. He was actually arrested last month by authorities on domestic violence charges. And this comes after 4 other women bravely came forward and accused him of sexual assault back in April.
It is a profoundly dark, terrifying situation. We are talking about a massive, powerful former athlete. And in the midst of this woman surviving what sounds like an absolute nightmare, another former NFL player and prominent sports analyst, Emmanuel Acho, decided to weigh in publicly on his massive platform.
And what he said was so disgusting, I am still furious about it.
It was vile.
Acho publicly, on the internet, called Anne-Marie dumb as hell.
Why?
Because according to his twisted logic, she had previously praised Marcellus as an incredible black man in interviews after the alleged assaults had already occurred.
Let's break down the mechanics of this misogyny. The sheer ignorance required to fix your mouth to call a domestic violence victim dumb as hell for trying to survive her abuser is staggering.
It's infuriating.
It exposes exactly how the sports media ecosystem closes ranks to protect powerful men. Acho is using his platform to enforce the myth of the perfect victim. The idea that if a woman doesn't act exactly how society expects her to act after being assaulted, she must be lying or stupid.
It makes my blood boil. It makes me want to scream. Anne-Marie posted a highly powerful, heartbreaking response on her Instagram to educate him. She clearly explained the devastating reality of coercive control and domestic violence.
She laid it all out.
She wrote that victims stay, they normalize the daily abuse, and they publicly praise their abusers because they are trapped in survival mode. They do whatever it takes to keep the peace and protect their children from a volatile monster right up until they are completely broken or manage to escape.
She explicitly called out the broader cultural mechanism at play here. She pointed directly at men like Acho who perpetuate these cycles of violence.
Good for her.
She stated that men who make excuses for, defend, and enable abusive men are the exact structural reason women are terrified, shamed, and intimidated into silence. And she is 100% unequivocally right.
100%.
It is incredibly dangerous and intellectually lazy to judge a victim's survival tactics from the safety of the outside. Coercive control literally rewires a victim's brain to believe the abuser is in charge of their reality.
You never, ever know what someone is doing behind closed doors just to stay alive or to keep their kids safe from a physical threat.
Yeah.
Coercive control is real. The paralyzing fear is real.
It's very real.
For Emmanuel Acho to use his massive platform to shame a survivor instead of holding his peer, the accused serial abuser, accountable is just vile. It is victim blaming 101. We are standing fiercely with Anne-Marie on this, and we applaud her for educating the public while navigating her own trauma.
Absolutely. The raw courage it takes to physically pack your bags and leave an abuser is monumental. And the courage it takes to speak out publicly against a wealthy, powerful athlete with a massive fan base is even greater. We wish her and her children nothing but peace, healing, and absolute safety moving forward.
Keeping with the compassionate tone, because we really want to honor these real-life struggles, we also need to send love and light to the GHA family in New Jersey.
Another heartbreaking reality hitting the Bravo universe this week, one that puts all the petty drama into sharp perspective.
Gia Giudice recently went on social media and gave an update on her younger sister, Milania. Milania is currently grieving the sudden, utterly tragic death of her 20-year-old lifelong best friend, Victoria Zaradoya. Victoria passed away from fatal injuries after a horrific fall near the Fort Dade ruins in Florida.
It is truly unimaginable. 20 years old, a whole life ahead of her, just gone in an instant. The grieving process for someone that young is incredibly complex.
It is.
Milania has been staying incredibly close to Victoria's family during this nightmare, basically living at their house to support them and process the shock together.
Milania even got a beautiful baby V tattoo on her wrist to permanently honor her friend. But through all this immense, suffocating grief, Milania shared an incredible, inspiring silver lining that we wanted to highlight.
This part is amazing.
Victoria was an organ donor. And because of that choice, her tragic passing resulted in a massive medical miracle. Her organ donation ended up saving 8 different lives. 8 families who were praying for a miracle got a phone call because of Victoria's generosity.
That is profound. The mechanics of organ donation are incredible. One person can save up to 8 lives with major organs and heal dozens more with tissue donation.
It's beautiful.
To use their massive reality TV platform to highlight the importance of organ donation amid such a deep personal loss is really commendable for the Giudice girls. Grief is so incredibly isolating, especially for a teenager in the public eye, but they are channeling that pain and honoring her memory in a way that truly helps others understand the impact they can make.
It puts absolutely everything into perspective. Like, we can complain about our rigatoni and our packages all day, but life is so fragile. We're sending so much love, strength, and healing energy to Milania, the Giudice family, and especially to Victoria's family.
It really does reset your brain. All right, Snark Squad, take a deep breath. We need to physically shake off the heavy, heartbreaking stuff. We are going to pivot hard. We have to go back to the absolute gutter of reality television to finish out the day.
The gutter. The absolute lowest rung on the evolutionary ladder of entertainment. The place where shame simply does not exist.
We're talking about shameless, weaponized internet grifting. Welcome back to the 90 Day Fiancé cinematic universe.
Brandon and Mary DiNuccio. Babes, I cannot with these two. I physically lack the capacity. They are back at it. They have started another GoFundMe campaign.
What is this, their 5th? Have we lost count of the crowdfunding links?
At least, it's endless. So let's break down the narrative they're selling this time. They went online and claimed they desperately needed money from their fans because Mary's grandfather, who they call Lolo, had suffered a stroke.
Okay, sad.
And simultaneously, they claimed both of their young daughters, Midnight and Summer, were hospitalized with severe pneumonia. They posted highly stressful videos of the kids, claiming they had fevers ranging from 101.1 all the way to 105.2 degrees.
Okay, let's inject some analysis here. Obviously, having sick children and a severely ill grandfather happening at the exact same time is objectively stressful. No one is denying that medical emergencies cost money. But the catch here, the mechanism of the backlash, is that fans immediately and aggressively bashed them in the comments. The internet mobilized. The backlash was so swift, so organized, and so severe that Mary was forced to completely delete and take the fundraiser down after just 3 hours of it being live.
3 hours. Because the internet never, ever forgets. The fans are furious. because these two have completely, systematically destroyed every single ounce of credibility they ever had.
They burned it all down.
We have to look at the history of the grift here to understand why the fans revolted. 2 years ago, Mary raised over $1,300 on a crowdfunding site by tearfully claiming to her followers that she had colon cancer.
Oh, this is the best part.
And then in a twist that you couldn't write in a sitcom, Brandon later admitted on camera that she wasn't actually diagnosed by a medical doctor. She self-diagnosed herself with colon cancer by watching videos on the TikTok algorithm.
Dr. TikTok. It is peak dystopian reality TV. And the fundraising site actually launched a fraud investigation and pulled that page down too. But Mary callously claimed she had already transferred and spent the money.
Of course she did.
They are textbook serial grifters. They use the emotional weight of illness to extract cash. And the sheer unmitigated audacity of her defense this time around is mind-blowing.
She posted a video whining and crying that other 90-day reality stars make way more money online from fans than they do. She literally named names.
She did the math on her coworkers.
She specifically cited Armando Rubio, pointing out that he raised $181,000, and Jenny Slatten, who she noted raised over $103,000.
What's fascinating here is the complete sociological lack of self-awareness regarding the parasocial economy. She doesn't understand why fans give money.
She really doesn't.
Armando raised that $181K because his daughter suffered a catastrophic emergency brain bleed and had to be medically evacuated in a highly documented, verifiable crisis. Jenny raised her money to cover overwhelming expenses related to her husband's actual medically diagnosed terminal battle with ALS.
Exactly. I have an analogy for this because it makes me so angry. Brandon and Mary treat GoFundMe like a broken ATM machine in a dark alley that they just keep kicking and kicking, hoping free cash falls out.
That's exactly what it is.
You cannot, under any circumstances, compare a devastating ALS diagnosis or an emergency brain evacuation to a fake colon cancer disease you caught from scrolling the TikTok algorithm at 2 a.m. It's deeply offensive to people actually suffering.
It really is. It exposes the entitlement of modern D-list fame. They categorically refuse to get real traditional jobs. They sit on social media all day, and they simply expect the viewing audience to financially subsidize their lives forever.
It's maddening.
And then, the true hallmark of a grifter. They play the victim when people logically say, hey, didn't you fake cancer last year? Why should we trust you with our credit cards?
It's the sheer entitlement for me. Send us your hard-earned money, but do not judge us or ask for receipts. No, babes. If you are asking for public, crowd-funded money, you open yourself up to public scrutiny and audits. Period. That is the social contract of asking strangers for cash.
Well, speaking of bad decisions and broken relationships, let's do a quick lightning round of reality trash to end the deep dive, because MTV is acting up today.
Let's do it. Quick hits of MTV chaos. First up, the challenge legend, C.T. Tamburello. He is officially filing for divorce from Catalina Hager again.
Wait, I need you to clarify this. Didn't they literally just call off the divorce proceeding?
Yes, that is the chaos of it. Mere months ago, they stood in front of a judge in a courtroom, held hands, and legally swore they wanted to dismiss the case, stay together, and work on their marriage. And now, boom, the legal paperwork is filed again. It gives me absolute whiplash.
They are the boy who cried divorce. It's a cyclical trauma bond playing out in the legal system. At this point, the family court judge is probably rolling their eyes when the file hits their desk.
They must be so tired of them.
It costs so much money to keep filing and dismissing. And finally, keeping with the theme of terrible permanent decisions, we have Jessi Draper from the MTV universe reacting to Marciano literally physically branding her initial on his body with a tattoo.
Oh my God, a brand tattoo. Looks like a cattle brand. Jessi's friend Michaela did an interview recently, and she sounded just deeply spiritually exhausted by the entire relationship.
I would be too.
Michaela noted that sometimes, as a friend, you just have to create a boundary and distance yourself when your friends make terrible permanent decisions that they refuse to see as toxic. You cannot save people from themselves.
That is the hardest lesson of adulthood, especially when they are tattooing initials on themselves like livestock to prove loyalty after cheating. The psychology of trauma bonding via ink is fascinating, but that is a massive, glowing red flag that you can see from outer space.
It's huge.
Michaela is incredibly smart to step back. Let him be a walking, inked cautionary tale.
A cautionary tale indeed. And honestly, that feels like the overarching theme of today's show. We started with the murky, hilarious diagnostic waters of our own chaotic lives with the burrowing bees and the oat milk. And we ended up wading waist-deep through the radioactive, toxic waste dumps of reality TV grifters, coercive control, and legal restraining orders.
The diagnostic X-ray machine is definitively broken when it comes to Bravo-celebrities and MTV stars. We are just out here with our mugs of tequila and our missing packages, trying our absolute best to read the muddy waters of their chaos so you don't have to.
Which brings us directly to you, our fabulous Snark Squad. We need to hear your thoughts, because this end-of-day therapy session is a two-way street, and we rely on your unhinged takes. So jump into the comments right now or hit us up on social media and tell us exactly this. Which celebrity story shocked you the most today?
Was it the Dr. Dre Nobu mystery? Or Sandoval's groin kick? Let us know. Also, what's the weirdest rabbit hole you've fallen into recently? I need new things to distract me from my adult responsibilities.
And finally, what tiny inconvenience almost sent you over the edge this week? Validate my rigatoni tears, please. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, sipping whatever gets you through the day, and gossiping like the true besties you are.
Remember to subscribe, leave a review, only 5 stars, we are incredibly fragile, and share this deep dive with another gossip-loving babe who desperately needs a laugh today.
Stay fabulous, stay a little nosy, and we'll see you on the snark side.